COVID-19 has disrupted many industries, and AgriFood-tech has had to adjust. Join the conversation and learn from leading experts on changing trends in agri-food tech and what that means for agriculture, food security, and changing landscapes.
Shalom, hello everybody. Welcome to the next session that will be on AgTech investor trends. And we have with us three guests that will be discussing their VC approach to the current investment after the COVID-19 era. Please present yourself. We'll start with Matilda from Bits and Bytes in China. Please, Matilda.
Hello, everyone. I'm the founder and managing director of Bits and Bytes. Founded in 2016, we are China's pioneer early stage agri-food VC, and our goal is to invest in early stage startups with transformative technologies that can address the systematic challenges in the food supply chain. And those challenges include food security, food safety, human nutrition, sustainable protein, and waste reduction. Out of the 14 portfolios, we're very proud to have 4 Israeli companies in our portfolio that help us to think about how to foster the innovation and have those technology being adopted and commercialized in the Chinese market. And it's my pleasure to be here to share some of our observations and perspectives on this topic.
Thank you, Matilda. Crystal, can you present yourself, please?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Crystal. I'm a venture manager at BayWa. BayWa is an international trading company with more than 19,000 employees, 17 billion euro turnover, and we focus in general on 4 segments: agriculture, energy, renewable energy, and building materials. We do have a strong footprint in agriculture, especially in Germany. In Germany, we can call more than 100,000 farmers our customers, but we also trade commodity goods globally. And for example, we are one of the biggest apple trader in the world. So there is not a lot that we don't do in agriculture. And what we see that our farmers, they face huge problems in terms of higher regulation in the input market, shortage in labor resources, demand for traceability and higher food safety, as well as new and furthermore growing demand in healthy and rich new proteins. So we invest in innovative products or services that provide an answer to these problems. From a scope in terms of size and stage, we feel comfortable investing early stage to Series A startups up to 1.5 million euro per startup. And we consider investing in excellent startups where we can play our, I always call it, unfair advantage in terms of channel, sales, and product development in the best way for both parties, the startup and the group. We have currently 2 startups in our portfolio, what I consider they are very hot. They are Bytes and AgriLogic. Bytes, it's a digitalized platform to sell spare parts for agricultural machinery. And this is, as we all know, the long tail strategy of Amazon works also very useful in agriculture. And we are currently invested in AgriLogic, which is a provider of biologicals, and they produce these biologicals for fermentation process to work on the overall mission to provide ingredients for a most sustainable biological crop protection. We don't have an Israeli startup in our portfolio yet, but I hope that will soon change. And I'm very thankful to be here today on this panel and to engage even furthermore with the Israeli ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. And Nita, now your turn. If you can elaborate more on your new proposal as presenting South Asia as well.
Yeah, thank you, Gal, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank also the organizer of this great summit, Growing IL and SNC, and thank you for the opportunity to be here and share with you some of our activity and observation. So the Trendlines AgriFood Fund is based in Singapore, and I'm the CEO of the fund. We invest in near future and smart companies that are addressing and solving the near future food challenges. 75% of our capital will be invested in ready-to-market late-stage companies, and 25% of the fund is dedicated to a Singaporean earlier stage startups in high demand and low risk. We are operating globally from Singapore and Israel, and we already invested in 3 companies. We made 3 investments, and the first one is an Israeli company, Equinome. It is a non-GMO computational breeding company addressing the future food industry, and its first target is the plant-based protein market, providing raw materials for companies like Beyond Meat and others. Of course, we will invest, and we are investing in other fields as well, which I will specify later on in my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Nita. And now we are back with some few quick questions to each one of you, and we'll start with Matilda. If you can elaborate a bit about your VC value proposition for the entrepreneur. What are the expectations that you have from new entrepreneurs that are approaching your entity?
Right. Yeah. And first of all, let me start by saying that although we invest companies globally, including Israel, but we have a very strict and straightforward Chinese market mandate, which means that all the companies that we invested is because how the technology can be adopted and commercialized in the Chinese market. And if we look at the investment activities happening in China, more than 80% of the $3.6 billion that went into the food and agri investment activities last year went into the downstream, which we all know in e-commerce, meal delivery, we have a huge downstream innovation happening in the Chinese side of the world. However, in our belief, without the technology advancement in the upstream and in the midstream, it will hinder the sustainable growth of the downstream sector. And that's why our investment theses are all around how can we tap into those supply chain innovation that can help us to bring a more resilient and effective supply chain. And not to mention now the COVID-19 accelerated the importance of building a self-sufficiency of the food production. So that is our focus. To really specify on the supply chain efficiency into the upstream and midstream sector.
And Crystal, since your company is new to the Israeli market, I would appreciate if you can also elaborate on your value proposition to the young entrepreneurs that are that will be hopefully meeting you this week.
Yes, of course. Well, in general, I already explained that we always look for startups, for innovation we can invest in, where we can play fully our unfair advantage in terms of we have a sales channel, we have international trading network, we do have test fields, we have our farmers under management. You can really quick and easy validate your value proposition. But I also think it's a very good question you mentioned before, how is it now in COVID-19 and the connection with entrepreneurs in a remote period, yeah? And I think that's really an excellent question, because I recently lost a deal investment a few weeks ago because I was not able to build up a strong enough relationship with a startup, fully digital, fully remote, to go through a tough DD. And so I reflected a lot on that. And in general, I think it's always important to start building up a personal relationship with the founders, with the entrepreneurs, once you consider investing in a startup. And on average, it takes time to get warm with each other. It even gets more time if you can't see each other, if you can't see the physical interaction. So I really try with the startups we are now negotiating with to have some weekly calls to trigger some things, whether you send them in a competitor or send some questions about the pitch deck, about the business plan, how the person reacts, how they deal with question, and that also gives you a good feeling how in perspective it will be when you work with this team very closely together.
Thank you, Crystal, and I appreciate the fact that it's giving us a chance to improve the dialogues between the VCs and the entrepreneurs and setting the right expectations. So it's not only your side that needs to better communicate, also the entrepreneurs here in Israel will need to consider it. Nitza, as for trend lines, I would love to hear what are the trends and most important trends that you would be looking to receive new proposal and new offers to invest, and if it's in somehow being reflected because of the COVID-19.
So I would start by saying that since we are investing in early stage and also in later stage companies, so we do have the full range of support that we are providing to our startups. When it is a very young company, we have a large team of people that will support the startup from the technology perspective, strategic, but mainly, I think that our value proposition is offering a business development support throughout the development stages of the companies. We are establishing connection with strategics and offer investment banking activity as well to our portfolio, of course. I think that the main issue, since we are operating from Singapore as well, is the access to East Asia markets and to leading players in the region. So our portfolio will enjoy the great and very deep relationships that we have in the ecosystem in South Asia markets. Regarding the trends, as Matilda mentioned before, no one can ignore the vast investment in e-grocers and all those technologies, and of course the COVID emphasized the need and the massive use of those technologies. But this is not in our focus. Nevertheless, the second most funded category in the first half year of 2020 was the midstream tech, which support food logistics, supply chain, and traceability. Those areas are of interest of us, and we are looking for that. AgBiotech is another field that we are very active. And again, as we saw last year, almost $900 million was invested in 75 deals in AgBiotech. And I think that the main reason for that is the serious concern and awareness to reduce the environmental impact. This is for us is the main topic, and we are working to really be very active in that. And no one now can ignore anymore the sustainability issues, and there is a strong market needs for new crop varieties and biological treatments that reduce the use of chemicals. And last but not least, especially since we are in Singapore, we are very active in the smart and local farming technologies, and also in the alternative and personalized enriched food. That trends that were in our basic strategy, and it didn't change during the COVID, although it was strength our believe that those are the most important area to invest.
Thank you, Nitsa. So Matilda, we are back with you, and imagine yourself that you are building the next startup. What would be the lasting problem that you would like to address as now answer as a VC? What would you expect the next startup to come and help you to do?
Yeah, we do have, in terms of the thematic focus, again, the food security continue to be a very big area for that is disrupt for innovation. And I would say that for the crop and animal health is something that we do see potentially would have a lot of opportunities. We are very hungry to see for technology solutions, for bio-based technology solutions, including computational breeding technology, Acronym that Nitsa mentioned earlier is a great company working in this field. Gene editing technology that can fight against more crop and animal diseases. This is something that we're definitely looking very deeply on. In addition to that, we're also looking at some of the discovery platforms that will be able to land on safer, more effective alternatives for fungicide solutions, pesticide solutions. This is definitely something that we think that there will be more and more valuable startups that can arise in the future. The other topic I wanted to also raise and highlight is the sustainable protein. Protein continued to be a very rising issue during the COVID-19. Feed couldn't ship to the animals because of the cross-province transportation limitation. So a lot of animals were just hungry to death, unfortunately. Fruits were rotting on the farm because of the lack of the cold chain storage infrastructure in the farm field. So we do see a lot of the protein of the future. There still might be a lot of solutions out there. Future meat technology, one of our portfolio companies, continue to really accelerate the growth of the cell-based meat production. This is also something that we continue to put a lot of our bets on the company.
Crystal, what is your attitude towards a startup who wants to establish a technology platform, and then what would be the advice that you would be giving him when he's presenting such an ambitious goal to your company?
Well, I think that really depends what is the technology platform all about in terms of, is it a research platform, for example, microorganisms, when this kind of technology allows a lot of business and they are going very well. Because simple like that, research is there endless, and it's the key to focus on an open innovation collaborative approach. So definitely in this kind of research and development segments where the scope is very, very broad and research can be endless, I recommend the platform and open approach. That's what we see from the startups and also from many traditional players in the agricultural chemistry industry. If it's about a trading platform, I have to admit, I think the platform, it must offer some kind of a real value to both sides. A platform is depending, a trading platform on the buyer and seller, and on the platform there must be a value for both of them. Otherwise, the platform doesn't work.
Thank you. It's always a challenge when you want to do something quite big when you are just starting something. Nitsa, may you share with us what are the important things that you will be looking when you are evaluating a potential investment, and if you can refer to it with regard to the different stage in the life cycle of the company, whether it's a seed investment or a round or even further beyond, like with Equinome.
Okay. In a moment, I will answer the question, but I don't want to forget to salute the organizer for a 3 female investors panel. This is something that we won't see all the time. And I think that this is maybe the first panel, as Matilda mentioned before, with 3 females. So thank you very much for giving us this stage. Okay, so it is not, and you know, Gal, you have a lot of experience with evaluating technologies and ventures. So for me, it is not just one parameter. In general, to find an investment venture, there need to be a delicate balance of strong team, needs, market, and then changing the technology. So I'm not saying anything that it's very familiar, everybody knows. But I think that the balance between all those parameters will give the great picture. And I look for, I'm very people-driven person. So first I will look for a clever, innovative, passionate, and committed individuals that have sought and found a problem. They did it by themselves, and they have dedicated all their time and energy into solving this problem. So the fact that they sought it and found it, the fact that they understand the market and they created or built or developed a great and breakthrough technology, a game-changer technology, this is really a platform for, it's a great beginning. So, and it should be in the field that we are interesting. I didn't answer what are the most important for us, but I think that if we will speak about AgTech for a moment and not agri-food, I will take the food aside a little bit. So for me, the farmer interest is very important. I mean, to find technologies that will increase their efficiency and profitability. And I believe that the farmer interest at the end is our, as an investors, interest. There is a mutual interest here. And of course, everything that connected to environmental impact, it's crucial. In that aspect, I will look for technologies that are in the bioconversion area, which is already starting in the AgTech, but eventually I think that it will play a very important and a tremendous role. And also, I think that the regenerative agriculture is going to be something that will change everything we did until now. So this is regarding the areas. Regarding the stage,
Nita, may I ask, probably I will stop over here because I want to give a quick chance to Crystal and Matilda to respond to the same question. We'll start with Crystal, please.
Okay, thank you. Well, I raised my hand because I really want to add on what Nitsa just said. It's great that you choose this panel with female investors, and I totally agree on what Nitsa said in the beginning. We are also here. We are not looking for just one criteria if you evaluate a startup, and probably this opinion would be quite different if you have a panel with men, because whenever I see a men investor panel, say we're looking for 3 things: team, team, team. But really, we at BioWare, we make so few investments, and that's because we look for the best startup, but the best that must be also, we must also be their best choice in terms of fitting. So in general, I look for a huge market potential, of course, an excellent team, and also the right timing. These are my 3 main criteria. And I want to add on the question you asked before, whether I differentiated between a seed and Series A round, and I truly believe that's very important, because between a seed stage of a startup and a Series A round, there must be a huge difference in terms of, in seed, I look for a team with a proven track record from probably their entrepreneurial history, as well as a strong value proposition of the idea of the product
solution. Crystal,
sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, you need to put a dot because we are exceeding the time. So I'm sorry, Crystal, for Matilda, for not letting you also to answer. We passed the time frame that we have. And I must say that I'm so proud to be a moderator in a panel that has 3 women. I hope that when we'll go also to the panels with entrepreneurs, we'll see more women that are leading and bringing more new startups. Hopefully it will happen also in the politics in all of our countries. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, and hope to see you in non-virtual panels in the future as well. Thank you.